All right, everyone, let's go for a little evening jaunt in the EM1 Civic. Car's already warmed up. We'll call this our second drive. I just drove from the garage, so took it for a little bit of a spirited run, came back, grabbed the cameras, and talk to you a little bit more about how this thing's doing. I'm gonna go windows down, so I'm gonna keep the mic down a little lower here. This is a windows down kind of car. The only bad thing about it right now is the brakes. But I wanted to get a decent spirited drive in the car before we start modifying it. Because right now it's kind of hard to reach the shifter. I don't think I'll end up doing anything with the steering rack, but that's the biggest deficiency of this car is the steering. You'll see I have to, the steering ratio is pretty insane. How much you have to look. I mean, I'm already at 90 degrees just to make a partial turn. The thing that's a little hard to get used to is the clutch pedal. You have to really almost sidestep it, get out of the way, because the darn thing is travels so long. But yeah, so I got the car corrected. So the paint is corrected. I haven't even touched the interior yet. We got the windows tinted. I haven't done anything else, but I put the exhaust on it, which makes the car pretty tame. You'll hear it sounds pretty good, but it needs a little bit more something. So it needs a little more output in order to sound decent. Let's hope this guy isn't going all the way out. I mean, look at the turn. Just to go around this turn, the steering wheel has to make almost a 90. Pretty crazy. So I have 27,163 miles. I filled up my first tank of gas. I checked the tires. Part of the reason why I was handling so poorly is the tires had 25 psi in them. So I put I don't know, what, about 60 miles on the car since I've gotten it, something like that. Does sound good though. You know, taking the Skunk 2 exhaust off kind of neutered it a bit, but also made it so it's not all droney and boomy sounding. But the brakes, oh man, the brakes are so bad. They're not even OE brakes. They're some janky, cheapo version. I noticed in all the documentation for the car. Well, if this guy's going straight, then we're going to go left. We'll go around. Can't stop. And then you got to turn the wheel twice to turn around. That's the most shocking part. VTEC, yo. Ooh. Yeah, it's so hard to like reach. So that's why all the hybrid racing. I have a hybrid racing. I have 3 different K-Tech or K-tuned. I always want to call it K-Tech. K-tuned to bring the shifter up. I don't know if I'm gonna like that, the look of that, and how that translates, but it is fun to drive this car hard, if you will, at least from a rev perspective. Drive straight. Even these crappy all-season tires, they feel good. I mean, I'm going 80. I just can't stop. Yeah, so the brakes are going to be a big upgrade when we get the spoon. I'm going to see how just the spoon calipers, spoon rotors, spoon brake lines. We'll see how all that all does for the car. Okay, good. But it's getting out of my way. The thing I love most about these is the intake, the induction noise. So good. Ooh, buddy. Can't stop. I'm gonna end up warping these crappy rotors. These knockoff rotors. I bet you this car hasn't been driven like this in a long time. First gear pull. Second gear pull. Come on, come on. I'm going 60. I'm going 85. Oh my gosh. Feels so slow. Oh man, it's growing on me though. The fun factor is growing on me just to kind of go out and rip around. Let's give you a quick little windows up. The reason why I say this is a windows down car, because as soon as you turn the AC on, just give you a little sound check here. I'm warping the crap out of the rotors. But this lady, she saw me earlier, ripping around. But I'm changing my mind here. You know, the first drive, I'd forgotten how bad it is. But I've been driving this car every day back and forth to the garage. And you know, once you get out of the M3, you get out of the GT3, you get out of these much better cars, more modern cars, and you drive this, the seating position isn't as bad, and the steering, you kind of get used to it. I still can't chirp gears right. Let's see if I can do it. I can never chirp them. Back in the day, I was always working on double clutching. Remember Fast and the Furious, they talked about double clutching. So I tried to learn how to do it. Let's see if I can do it. Pointless. So these the springs and the tires on this, springs, tires, brakes, are going to transform this car, even with the B16 in it. I might put the touge header on it just for the fun of it. But these H&R springs are super loopy, just not good. Making all kinds of blowing off all kinds of dust and rust on this thing. It is fine to be able to, I mean, I'm not going to get arrested going these speeds. I'm going to get a ticket. It's going to cost a lot of money, but I'm not going to get arrested in it. Versus, you know, if I'd have done a pull all the way to red line, first, second, third gear, in my GT3 there, I'd be doing 120 or more. So that, you know, that does have some appeal. So if I can get some good tires and brakes on this thing, it's going to be a blast. I bet you even if it had stock brakes, like decent stock brakes, it'd be good. But I don't have the confidence in these tires to do any kind of cornering, especially with the, especially with the no brakes. I think, you know, when I had this car back in the day, I had, you know, a lot of fear around, man, I didn't want to go to red line too often. You know, I didn't know any better, so I was always afraid to kind of take the car to red line. Now forget it. You know, red line 90% of the time. Just turn it around. The giant turn the wheel 37 times. Stay in it, no brakes. I kid you not, almost no brakes. all I feel is wobbly. Oh boy. Super squishy tires. H&R springs, all bouncy. But we're gonna make this good. Wait till I get the motons, all the frame braces, tires, brakes, brake lines. Oh man. Got a master cylinder stay so that the don't get any squishiness in the pedal. But right now I got some Mugen pedals. They're performing really well. It does make me smile, even though my head is touching the roof. Certainly makes me smile. I'm going to be ripping this thing when I get all these upgrades done. Like, I think it would be better stock. Like, if we had stock brakes, stock springs, it would probably be, and just newer tires that aren't 20 years old. I feel more confident with it. But it does, you know, even going like 50, 60 miles an hour, I can see, you know, the appeal. It's so much fun at speeds that aren't triple digits. I just don't want this thing sliding off the road. Not yet. Plus, I don't have it registered yet. I'm driving around with Minnesota plates. When I went to get it insured, the Chubb is my insurance provider, and we do stated value. Oh boy. We do stated value insurance policies. Thanks, buddy. And the stated value stuff, they rated it. The car was at $5,600, and then they rated it at like what was it? I forget what I had to pay to get it to go up to 50 to 25,000. What I paid for it. It's a pretty difficult thing to get them to insure a Honda Civic, a 2000 Honda Civic, for 25 grand. The other problem is the car's gonna be worth not gonna be worth a lot more, but it's gonna cost a lot more because I'm gonna have $100,000 into this thing. Thanks to that guy for saving me from getting pulled over in my unregistered Civic. So yeah, it's I wanted to get this drive in for you, so just you had it, but I don't have a lot of thoughts. I've driven it about 60 miles. I'll probably end up driving it a couple of hundred by the time I give the thing away. But the upgrades are going to be coming. Again, the only thing I've done is I put the OE plug wires back on instead of some Beiding bull crap that was on here. And then I did the Apex Eye exhaust, but that's about it. Makes you want to rev it though, that's for sure. That guy was poised and ready to get me, that cop was. It's fun. I have to admit it. So, more stuff coming. Gosh, it's so hard to get used to that turning, how much you have to turn the wheel, the steering ratio. It does. It is nice to have this this exhaust because you get all motor, a little bit of exhaust, all motor and induction. You do get that nice VTEC changeover, but other than that, we need a little bit more meat, the exhaust. So my Fujitsu RM0A1 or something, I think that's what it's called, RMA01, I think it is. RM1AO or something like that is about a month and a half out, I think. So stay tuned for more. It's fun. It's fun. Catch you on the next one. Always courtesy rev.